Oh, maybe he thinks it's next week.
Oh, no, he's always
No,
here.
he'd be on it, yeah.
He maybe doesn't feel well.
So we have a citizen who's here no matter what.
Oh,
If he-
every time.
What's his name?
Les Tabling.
Oh,
You know
Les,
Les. I'm sure you follow him on
yes.
Facebook.
Oh, yes, yes, he's the go-to guy.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock. I'll actually start the meeting for you since we're all fairly new. One of the first things I need to do is I need to swear you in. And Michelle, did we ever swear you in?
I don't know.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You three want to stand up because I know Michelle Stringer's already been.
I was sworn in, yes.
I'm going to swear at you real quick, so hold on.
Well, that won't be the first time today.
Oh, well, see, yeah, you guys know. I state your name.
I, Tammy Bennett,
And I should say this, you don't have to repeat all this. Being appointed by the mayor, Steve Barnett, to be a member of the Franklin Park Board, do solemnly swear to uphold the U.S. Constitution, abide by the Constitution of the State of Indiana and the Indiana Park and Recreation laws, and follow all policies and procedures of the city of Franklin, Indiana, so help me God.
I do.
You guys are official. See how easy that was?
It's easier than the courts. We have to repeat it all.
We forgot the streamers. We'll do that next time. Next thing we have to do, since we don't have one from last time, is we need to elect officers, a board president, and we have a vice president and a board secretary. And then on top of that, we normally pick one of you to sit on the planning commission too. And that appointment basically is you have to attend all the planning commission meetings. I do not remember off the top of my head when they are. They're on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock maybe. Not every Tuesday, good Lord. Maybe the second Tuesday of every month, I can't remember. Mainly, there's somebody's on the park board, from the park boards on the planning commission in case there happens to be something come up that's park related. What that would be lately would be any new subdivisions that might be popping up and that kind of thing. I also go to tech review meetings where I see kind of an early, a look at those kind of things before they even get to the planning commission. So normally I'm going to know when those things happen. Yeah. But if something pops up at a meeting and, it's park related, you get to step up and say, oh, hold on, wait a minute. We need to think about the trails. Or I'll give you a great example where that happened. When they were building Meyer, all the trail that you see on Simon Road was going to be a 4-foot sidewalk. And all we had to do was literally mention, hey, would you be interested in putting a 10-foot asphalt path that might connect one day to the Greenway Trail system? And they said, sure. And that's it. That's how quickly it can happen. So that's why we have somebody on the park board or on the planning commission in case something like that pops up. So that's really 4 different things that you'll get to do. The board president kind of runs the meeting. We're not really big on Robert Rules of Order here, so don't panic if you think that's I got to know that. You don't need to know that. The vice president would be, if the president wasn't here, they would run the meeting, and then the secretary, if we have legal documents or things that need to be signed, that person would sign off and say, yeah, everything's kosher. So that's the 4 things. So you want to open it up for nominations for president?
I would nominate Beth Admire for president. Just so I don't have to do it.
As long as you help me through it.
I second it.
Unfortunately, you were going to be outvoted. Okay, so
Sorry.
We have a motion and a second for Beth to serve as the president. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Beth, you're it. You want to take over from here?
Sure.
It's all you.
All right. Vice presidential candidate. State your claim. Tammy?
I'm good with signatures. I will throw myself on the secretary bus. How about that?
Okay. Do we have a volunteer for vice president?
No, I would be on the plan commission appointment if
Okay.
anyone else was not interested in that.
Vice president.
I mean,
Yeah,
unless
that's great.
Unless you want to,
Nobody really does anything.
you want to be vice, you can be.
Handle the stress.
Oh, you won't have to do anything, I
Oh,
promise.
she'll be here every meeting.
Why are you not doing it?
Well, I don't know. Why would I?
Because you've been here longer than
Okay,
the rest of us.
gosh.
Come on, ladies, take a coin.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be
I love it.
vice.
Okay,
I'll be
I make a
vice.
motion to
Told you
nominate
Les would be here.
Michelle Stringer as vice president of the board.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Michelle.
Okay, you could be the
Board
third.
secretary, who's gonna nominate Tammy?
Tammy just said she was willing.
Self-nominate, can I nominate myself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Throw
Okay.
myself
Yes.
on that bus.
All right, do I have a motion to make Tammy secretary?
Yes, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? There you go.
Welcome,
We've
newcomers.
got our officers, yeah, okay. All right, so consent agenda, approval of the meeting
So,
minutes?
Plan Commission appointment.
Oh,
do that
planning
one too, please,
commission
yeah.
appointments.
Unless somebody else wants to do that, I'm open. I was just gonna throw that out there. Do you
Well,
wanna
if there's
be on
ever a time
planning
you
commission?
can't
I will be
attend.
your backup.
Okay,
Okay, good, there you go.
All right.
all right.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve that.
Second?
Second.
All right, everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Very good. All right, let's go to the consent agenda, approval of meeting minutes from December 19th, 2024.
And it's kind of tough for people that weren't here, but what we do is we create minutes for every meeting, so you can, obviously, you'll get them, so you can see them. I will get you guys a copy of maybe the last 2 years' worth, and you can thumb through them. They're not any complicated reading or anything like that. Just gives you an idea what we've done for the last couple of years at board meetings.
You want to give us a little rundown of the December 19th?
Sure.
Just quick and dirty.
Yeah, I don't remember. I wasn't here. No, I was here. Well, okay, yeah. So at the last meeting, the Green Lawn Cemetery sexton that had been employed with us for the last 10 years resigned and took a new job. So we appointed a new cemetery sexton that has actually worked over there for maybe a total of 4 or 5 years. His name's Dale Mason. He's been in charge for about 2 weeks now and is doing a great job. As a matter of fact, by the way, I should tell you, we're also in charge of the cemetery. I should have told you that up front. They have all kinds of interesting things that happen over there that we'll deal with. Sometimes when it snowed 12 inches, they had 3 funerals that day. So there's rescheduled, all kinds of things happen. So, but he's doing an absolutely great job. So we'll love having him on board. But the other thing that we talked about at the last meeting was the Mayor's Youth Leadership Council has been working on a project over the last year or so about adding lighting to the Youngs Creek pickleball courts that are over here. The council and the Board of Works did accept a quote for that. I don't remember off the top of my head how much. It was around $40,000. And that project's, a matter of fact, we already had a pre-construction meeting, so it will have lights on those courts by the springtime.
Wow.
So
That's great.
Good for them.
that's a big deal. And that was it, really. That's all we did.
Very good. Well, thanks for the rundown, Chip. And do we have a motion to approve?
I would make a motion to approve the meeting.
Second?
minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Very good. All right, approval of January claims. I think we've signed them all. Did you sign them all, Tammy?
I have not.
Okay.
Is all of these sitting in front of me?
Yeah, just mark out one of those names and put your name.
I think yours are all on the green.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, good, yeah.
Jane Jones, she'll have to go in for the dockets.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so the green ones that you see, we'll throw some at you that are green like this. These are ones that have come in since we've turned them in to the clerk treasurer's office last week. Usually, there might be a utility that pops up or some bill that may be due before the next meeting, and we'll have you individually sign those. But normally, you'll have them on a docket that's a big, long list of here they all are, and you'll just sign one time for all of them. Well, I should say one docket. We may have 3 or 4 dockets, so.
Okay.
Okay. Did anybody have any questions on them? Is there anything you want to explain in more depth?
No, it's so early in the year, to be honest with you. We don't have that many. These two will vouch, and I know Beth knows too, that come June, that stack will can quickly look like this. So
That's good. Well, okay, so do I have a motion to approve January claims?
Yes, I would move to approve the January claims.
Anybody second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Very good.
and Beth did make a good point. If there is an unusual one, or if there's an unusually large one, I'll always bring it to your attention so you know that
Okay.
why am I signing a $37,000 bill for? And I'll explain to you what it's about.
For Chip's house.
Something about Corvettes are right at that right price.
Okay, so approval of the Human Resources Report. You want to give us a rundown of that?
Sure.
Chip?
So, I don't know if we did this, Beth, the last time you were here, but we've done it since then. Technically, according to law, you actually appoint everybody in the department. I may get them on board and hire them, but you're going to actually approve it once a month as we go along. These are the people that we have approved since the last meeting. So they're mostly part-time people. I will always point out a full-time person. You'll know that well in advance. There again, kind of a small list. The closer we get to the summer, this may be 5, 6, 7, 8 pages as we hire kickapoo counselors and lifeguards and all those things.
Okay.
We also, if somebody gets a raise because they've worked for us for a certain amount of time or something, they'll show up on here too. So
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? Do I have a motion to approve Human Resources Report?
I make a motion to approve the Human Resources Report.
How about a second?
Second that.
Okay, everybody in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I didn't see anybody opposed. Do we have any old business to go through?
we do not.
Okay, we can complete that task. I don't think we need a motion if nothing was put in front of us. New business, Park Resolution 2501, Athletic and Recreation Fund appropriation for 2025.
As we go along over the next few months, listen, I don't want to bore you with finances and make your head spin and all those kind of things, but the quick and easy is our parks budget is roughly about $4.5 million. Half of it comes from appropriated taxes and those kind of things, and the other half comes from athletic and recreation fees. We have fees for all kinds of stuff. It could be reserve a picnic shelter, the admission costs at the pool, memberships to the fitness center, all those kind of different things. What we're doing today is every year you have to appropriate us the ability to spend money out of that account. The city council does the appropriated budget, you do the athletic and recreation budget. Where I come up with a number is usually what we did the previous year. We're pretty close to 1.25 million that comes out of this fund every year. There are going to be times come November, and I believe I did this past November, I'll come back to you and says, we're going to get really close. I need you to appropriate 100,000 more or something, which we did this time. We didn't even get close to spending it, so, but just as a precautionary thing.
Okay.
We don't want to run out. That's what this is this is the initial appropriation to be able to spend the $1,250,000 out of the Athletic and Recreation Fund.
Okay.
So,
Motion to approve Resolution 25-01.
I move to approve the resolution.
I
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't hear any opposition.
and I need Beth and Tammy to sign it. You didn't think you was going to do anything the first meeting and got you.
These signatures, my hand's already
No.
tired.
I know. All right, ratify contracts for 2025 concert series.
So the fun part about it being on the park board is you get a sneak preview of things that come. That's
Yes.
right. So this is 3 of the bands that will be coming this summer. What I will normally do is I will normally sign these, especially if we're in a hurry to do something, and then come back and have you ratify the contract. All of these contracts go before Lynn at the city attorney's office. She will mark them up, change whatever we need to change, and then we'll get back with them and they'll change it. We've never usually have any problems with that. The first one is a Taylor Swift tribute band.
Nice.
That's on June 21st. That's the first 3 pages. The second one is an Elvis tribute band. If you're an Elvis fan, that's in September. And then the third one is Soul Juice Band, and they're actually based out of Las Vegas.
Ooh, wow.
So they play all kinds of different rock and soul and all kinds of different stuff. So those are the 3.
Very good. Anybody have any questions for Chip on the bands? All right, motion to approve ratifying contracts for 2025 concert series.
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Taylor Swift.
Might be sick out there.
I was going to say. My house is close enough to the park, I'll probably hear
It wouldn't matter because I wouldn't know a Taylor Swift song she didn't sing. I wouldn't know, so,
It'll be well attended by the
Yes, it
young,
will. Oh, my
young
God.
kids in the
Yes.
area.
absolutely.
Bracelets galore.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well, we've got reports from the departments.
What I have them do is, if you'll click on that department reports, I have everybody give you a quick little synopsis about what's going on program-wise in the department. There again, I mean, it just depends on the time of year. You'll get a lot of detail, and sometimes you're not going to give them much detail at all. I will tell you that the concert series will probably be announced before we meet again. It's usually the February 1st is when we do that. So we'll get the full list. I already have all the dates. We're waiting on one more to confirm is why I really don't have it yet. So, but it gives you an idea of, you'll see facility reservation numbers here. You'll see what we've been doing marketing wise. We're big on social media and those kind of things. We have a really good staff that does a really great job of keeping track of this stuff. So, and if I just send something out, Les will share it. So that's a good thing.
Very good. Do you want us to approve the department report?
You don't
or
need
Do you want
to.
to talk about, okay.
Yeah, I'll do specifically. We'll talk about a couple of things on there. One is you're coming in, especially the two of you, because the other two have been here. You're coming in at a really cool time to be on the park board. We're right in the middle of the Active Adult Center project. So hopefully maybe March, when it's warmer, we may take a field trip over so you can actually see what's going on. But it's probably maybe 40% done.
It's gone up fast.
it
It's in my
has.
side yard, so I get to see it every day.
That's
awesome.
kind of cool.
Yeah. Good. That means you can monitor what's going on. I like that.
All the semi trucks that are blocking me. Yes,
bet.
but it's okay. They've all been very sweet.
Good. It's going to be a really, really nice facility. We spent about a year in the planning phase of it. It is going up fairly quick, and the last I've heard, it hasn't changed since the last meeting, but it was scheduled to be done by July 4th, and the last thing I heard was going to be done in April.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming quick. So over the next 2 or 3 or 4 meetings, I'll have a lot of stuff in front of you to approve quotes for all kinds of stuff, from furniture to tables and chairs to appliances, all kinds of different things that are going to go in this building. So we're working on that kind of stuff behind the scenes now, but just wanted to let you know that that's coming quick. So that's going to be a really neat project.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Kickapoo registration, which is always a big one every year. Speak of Taylor Swift, that usually fills up in 10 minutes because we've switched it to online now, which makes it even quicker.
Wow.
It used to be when I first started in the department that you had to show up. Most of us understand this up here is when you went and bought a concert ticket back when we were younger, you had to go stand in line somewhere and get a ticket. Well, that's how Kickapoo used to be, and they would show up at 3 a.m. and circle the building. It's now all online. It takes about 10 minutes, and 150 people are registered, and boom, we're done. So that's coming up. So you'll see that at the next meeting. You'll see like revenue numbers jump really big because of that kind of stuff. It's one of our biggest programs by far. So
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
yeah, those are the two I wanted to show you.
Financial reports, athletic and recreation fund.
Yeah, so this is where you're going to get glossy-eyed on me, and that's okay. Because the sheet you have in front of you, the hard copy, it's also, she'll pull it up there too. I figured you want to see it close up. Do me a favor, on the first 3 pages, on the first page, just write a 24. Anywhere you want to, it doesn't matter. That's 24.
What's that?
Oh, she's good. The middle page is 23, and then the last page is 22.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things, that, especially if you're new and you've never done, I want you to be able to compare to something. It doesn't, numbers don't mean anything to you if you don't say, all right, well, what did that look like last year? Or what did that look like the year before? Yeah. Or what do you think it's going to look like this coming year? That's what these numbers are. This is the actual athletic and recreation fund that you just appropriated. Okay? And you see where I get the 1.25 million number. If you look at the bottom, it's pretty darn close to that. We break those down into very individual things. So when we take in money at the amphitheater, it stays in the amphitheater account. When we bring in Kickapoo Camp, money, it stays in that account. They're not commingled out, and so the camp people are just paying for camp. So if you're a dog park user, you're just paying for the dog park. There's a lot of things that we do that are 100% self-sufficient. So if I'm just a general taxpayer, I don't pay for the dog park. The dog park people pay for it. There's a lot of programs in here, a lot of facilities that are going to be like that. As we go along and you have any questions, all you have to do is ask me. I'll explain it to you. And we may pick a few of them every, first few meetings and let me explain it to you. Because some of them the numbers are going to look way different maybe than they did 2 years ago. And I'll explain to you why. The amphitheater is a great one. I love to keep using this amphitheater. It's the it's the third one down on the list. It was 273 is the revenue this year. Last year it was 313, and then the year before that was 446. I'm a numbers a trend guy, and I can see what the trend is at the amphitheater. The trend is that obviously when everything's new, everybody wants to sponsor everything, right? And as you see, the next year it goes down a little, and then last year it goes down a little more. Do I suspect it will go down a little more? Probably so. That's why it's so important that we have like the alcohol sales and the vendor fees and all those kind of things, is that we'll make up the difference. We're very strategic about how we pick concerts, because I can't have all Taylor Swift concerts, for example, because Taylor Swift concerts, I suspect, don't sell a lot of beer.
Yeah.
But Elvis and AC/DC and Hairbangers Ball, and so we're very strategic about what we do, because I have to get enough revenue to make this thing run. The last thing you'll find me wanting to do is having to go back and ask the city for money, because we just can make it work. We very rarely ever do that. Matter of fact, maybe in 20 years I've done that 3 times, if that. So we usually make it work. You'll see there's another one on there. Second one down is the Aquatic Center, and it's at 120 in 24. It's at 103 in 23, and it's at 91 in 22. It does just the opposite, right? So that's us being strategic about marketing at the Aquatic Center. We try to get more people to come, and that's where you see the numbers go up. Is sheer marketing efforts and those kind of things. Concessions is another one. Sometime this year we at exactly 160. Last year we were at exactly 159. So but the year before that we were 142. What that tells me is that we stepped up our efforts on concessions, whether we changed the menu or the offerings or those kind of things. So you'll see that sometimes we'll make decisions based on how we want these things to go. Now, the other one I wanted to show you, because I want to show you a negative one, is Kickapoo. Last year we brought in 222,000. The year before we brought in 184, and the year before we brought in 180. All 3 of those years, Kickapoo lost money and not made money. And one of the reasons why is we got to be very careful about how we make decisions, because when we make decisions after a certain point, then let me give you an example. For example, if I make a decision after we signed up for Kickapoo in January, and let's say that I'm going to give everybody a $1 raise that works for us, we just crash this whole budget, because it's based on a certain thing. That's what we did in 22, is that we changed the pay structure, because we were having we were coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
So we're having a lot of trouble getting a lot of people, so we changed the pay structure. It ended up being $2 more an hour. And we weren't based our budget on that. So you'll see those numbers that really dwindled down. It had like a $50,000 excess in it. And I believe it has $3,200 in it now. So one of the reasons that we'll come and ask you to change fees sometimes is based on that history.
Yeah.
Of if something just didn't work, we've got to correct it, that's how we're going to have to correct it. Now we're going to correct it 2 ways this year. We're going to take a few more kids in Kickapoo, which every 10 kids is roughly $15,000 to $18,000, and we also got to raise the fee $5.
Yeah.
Based on that. So
Question,
Sure.
looking at this, the CARC fitness and the CARC membership. Is the fitness the access to the weight room
It
and
is.
stuff like that? But the membership, no weight room, but you have the walking track?
you're already an expert.
Okay, well, look at me go.
Good job.
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
Okay.
So
What's BGCL?
it's a Boys and Girls Club. So
Okay.
we actually own the Wonder 5 Center. that they're housed in, and they have a lease agreement with us that they pay us a certain amount per child that gets a membership at the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
Not even close to what it costs to run, obviously, but it's something.
It's still a good program.
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
kids. Awesome, okay.
That's great. Do you need our approval on this, or?
Nope, I just wanted to make sure you're aware.
Thank you. All right, does anybody on the board, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't do the cemetery.
So that was one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is if you'll click the appropriation reports, if you work for the county or state, you probably see something very similar to these. These are going to be the appropriation reports that are going to be, this is the tax-supported side of our budget. And we'll show you those every month so you can see. These are going to be a little bit easier to read because I'm showing you revenue numbers in the Athens Rec. I'm going to show you expense numbers in the appropriated. Because this is tax money, it's not really money we're tracking every day. It's the clerk treasurer's office gets it twice a year kind of deal. But you'll see, this is the end of the year for 2024. So all these numbers, if you look at the totals on the right, are all going to be almost zero. But if you'll go to the left, you'll see what the starting numbers were on a lot of these, especially on page 1. It'll give you an idea of how much we spend. For example, we spend roughly about $350,000 just in part-time staff out of this budget. We probably do $450,000 to $500,000 out of the other one. So our payroll is probably roughly $1 million for people. But it just gives you an idea of where we are and overtime costs, all those things that you can take a look at.
Is your guys' budget January, February? Okay. And your budget hearings are done in what month in Franklin
It's usually in
City?
August,
Okay.
maybe September sometimes. Yeah, it's January through December. We'll also include the cemetery one too, because obviously we oversee that too. So you'll get an appropriation report every month that shows you what we spend at the cemetery and where it goes and all that kind of good stuff too. One of my jobs is to keep you informed as much as I can. So if you have questions and you feel comfortable enough to ask them. The last one on there is a fund report. So I'm probably talking to some people that know what I'm talking about, but there are 2 different kinds of reports that you're going to see. They can get very confusing. I teach IU seniors this and they barely get it. There's an appropriation report. An appropriation report is basically a budget report. It's what we have the ability to spend. It doesn't mean that's how much money we have. It just means that's what we've decided that we're going to spend in 2024 or 2025 or whatever. This report, the last one we're going to look at, it's a fund report. This is the actual how much cash we have. That's the difference. So we're normally, they're never going to match. I have a hard time teaching students this. They're never in a million years going to match. It's just impossible. So we could have more cash than we do appropriations, or we could have more appropriations than we do cash. Totally depends on the time of year. Okay? But if you want to see what our cash balance is at a certain time, for example, at the Athens Rec, we ended at $317,833. We started, this is where I was talking earlier, we started at $407. So we actually spent more than we brought in. This is why when we raise fees and this kind of stuff, this is why we do it, because we can only sustain that for so long, obviously. And then we have to do something. But the cash balance in parks is $1.376 million. So
Do you guys take donations like all year?
we do.
Okay.
We have a donation account that is at the Community Foundation.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any questions on those? Any comments? No.
Fascinating.
All right, and then any comments in general from members? No? All right,
Public comments? Les, got anything?
no? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.